Hello, Internet! Welcome to the After Credits cast. We've assembled, we may not have a Hulk, but we do have Iron Ryan.
Can confirm, I am in a suit of armor.
I also am joined with a special guest this week, Nicola Romanov.
Top tier. Top tier. Top tier.
The minute I knew you were going to be a part of it, I knew that was the name I was going to go with. No questions asked.
Good. I'm going to get that made.
And then, of course, I am your... captain, Captain Air America, and welcome to the After Credits Countdown to Infinity.
Yes.
So, we have some... This is a big one, guys. This is the first group movie of the whole bunch. It's a big celebration of everything working for Marvel up to now. It was a pretty good one to launch, and it held up really well.
I think so, yeah.
Before we get too deep into the movie, though, I have 2 bits of news and a correction I have to issue from a previous episode we did.
Oh boy.
So, Ryan, when we recorded Iron Man 2, we did state that Iron Man 2 was ranked number 9 of the top-grossing movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right?
I believe you said that, yes, sir?
Well, at the time I also said that Thor Ragnarok was still in theaters for just a little bit longer. Thor Ragnarok has taken the number 9 spot since we did that episode. So I wanted to make that heads up for everybody. I don't want to make this update every time this happens, because Black Panther's coming out soon. That'll probably throw the numbers off completely. But I figured
that's not a correction, more like an adjustment. Like that probably just happened a little bit.
I'll take that, yeah. I'll take that. And then 2 bits of news to get out there, because it's all Marvel related. First off, for those watching, just the other day, I think it was yesterday actually, James Gunn took to Twitter and confirmed Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is set to release in 2020. Which should be following up all of the Infinity War stuff coming up this year or next year.
Yeah, this is really exciting because it's the second movie announced after, like the Infinity War ends. Like, we know after Avengers 4 ends, we're going to get Homecoming 2, but we're also then after that going to get Guardians 3, which I don't know, there's a part of me that kind of expected all new movies to start coming out after Infinity War, so it's really cool to see that.
I think you have to finish off the Guardians at least with the trilogy. You can still go on, because there's so many things the Guardians haven't done yet, so many other characters they haven't even thought of to do. There's even the other team that was led by, what's his name in the movie?
The guy that plays Sylvester, the guy that, wow, I almost said
Stallone.
Yes. Yeah, that dude, what's his name?
Whatever his face as Sylvester Stallone. So yeah, you could definitely do that too, but it's a welcome surprise, I think.
Yep. So I'm excited to see it because Guardians, I think, is probably my favorite brand of the entire Marvel thing, but I could be biased there. But there's some other news involved as well. We also have an update on the release date for Deadpool 2. Originally, that was going to be June 1st in 2018. However, apparently that's going to clash with the release of the Star Wars Solo movie called Solo, which apparently Fox doesn't want, even though they just got bought out by Disney. So, but this means they pushed the date up to May 18th, which is 2 weeks after Infinity War, and I believe it's 2 weeks before The Incredibles.
Wow,
that's a rough time. That's a rough time to open.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's okay to open in between the two of them because, you're gonna get a lot of people that go to see Avengers opening weekend. Yeah. Then 2 weeks after, you can come back and see fucking Deadpool 2. Then 2 weeks after that, you can go see Incredibles 2. So I don't think it's really clashing against them.
My wallet for that.
I don't think it's gonna clash. It's worse than a Steam sale, man.
Right?
Rip money. It's just we're gonna be at the movies
I'm just gonna live at the theater. I'm gonna set up a little bunk there and be like, "All right, guys, I live here now."
Well, here's what you do. You buy tickets for Incredibles when that comes out, don't see the other two yet, and then just do a triple feature.
Whoa.
Just see the one, then go sneak into the theaters for the other two. It's fine.
See, now that's an overload.
Yeah,
like I will short circuit. I will.
You
all
clear
of
out
my
the day. Clear out the day. Get all the Red Bulls or energy drinks you need. You can pull it off. It's fine.
I don't know.
I will.
I don't think any human can withstand all of that. I think they die after just 2 movies.
They said the same thing about... They said the same thing when I was made a Death by Chocolate cake for one of my birthdays. I had 2 slices, okay? So, if I can power through that, I can power through a day of
I didn't know
movies.
you didn't die.
Shit, you're right.
This is the afterlife.
Yeah.
He's like, Aaron's still recording podcasts like beyond his grave,
Yeah.
from the
That's
grave.
just the afterlife for you.
What
Just
the ghost?
forever recording podcasts.
What did I do to deserve this kind of hell?
Well, you pissed off Phantom Cora one too many times, and now you're just in a constant cycle of re-recording shit.
That is incredibly sad and true.
Too real.
Alright, so we're about to talk about Avengers. So guys, before we get into it, anything you want to mention about the movie beforehand? Any history you want to mention? Any cool stories or just fun moments you want to mention before I get to the stats of the movie?
I mean, I feel like we're going to talk a lot about the specific beats of the movie, but it was just really good to see it again. It's been years since I've seen the original Avengers, and the joy of just watching all of it come together was just it was like going back in time 6 years for me. So it was really nice to do it again.
It was definitely refreshing. I have some comments about the writing of the film, because it's and nothing bad. It's actually all good stuff that I want to mention, but I'm looking forward to talking about it, because I noticed a few things I didn't notice in previous viewings. I'm like, that's a really well done way of doing that. I'm excited to talk about that. So,
Oh yeah.
all right.
I just have a conspiracy.
Nicole, anything you want to add before I get to stats?
I just have my crazy conspiracy theory that I told Aaron a little bit beforehand. So we'll go into that later.
Yep, that's why I have her as a guest, actually. I love her theory. I want to hear more about it.
It's wild.
This will be fun.
Yeah, right next to my desk I have a whole corkboard and a whiteboard of just connecting dots in all these theories. It's wild.
Ma'am, I'm interested. Ma'am, I'm interested in what you have to say, and I want to subscribe to your newsletter.
Alright.
Alright, so let's roll down some stats. Avengers, the first movie, released May 4th of 2012. I remember being there for opening day of that one. That was a fun night there. The director was Joss Whedon, and it was written by Zach Penn and Joss Whedon. This movie stars, you know all these people by now, but we're going to get the names anyway. We have Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Jeremy Renner, Mark Ruffalo, Scarlett Johansson, Clark Gregg, Samuel L. Jackson, Kobe Smulders, Tom Hiddleston, and Stellan Skarsgård. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Good job. Good job, sir.
And of course, the box office numbers. These are the most impressive ones we've seen yet, and I will give everyone a heads up, they have not been beaten yet.
Really?
The opening weekend numbers were 207,438,000. The overall domestic was 623,357,000, and rounding it off is the worldwide at $1.5 billion.
Damn!
It is still among the top grossing movies of all time, but for the year of 2012, it is number 1, soundly outpacing The Dark Knight Rises, though that might be for other reasons. We'll not.
Oh, come on! Don't argue with me.
I'm not
about
trying to
Dark Knight
diminish.
Rises.
I'm not trying to diminish the success of Avengers, but you have to admit, Dark Knight Rises got a bit shafted that year for very dark reasons we're not going to get into here.
Man.
And of course, as I already mentioned, it is currently ranked the number 1 MCU overall. The only one I think poised to top it is going to be Infinity War, but Black Panther actually has some record number pre-sales going on right now, so that is also a possibility. We will see.
That's blowing my... Like, it makes sense, but to hear it just kind of throws me for a fucking loop.
To hear that's still number 1 after all this time?
Yeah, after all this time, you're going to tell me it is the... Like I said, after hearing it, it makes sense, but hearing it is just... It's throwing me for a loop.
Well, I mean, you kind of look back, though, and Ultron was really good, but that came out in a year full of other major billion blockbusters. It came out the same year as Star Wars, Jurassic World, sorry, and Fast and Furious 6, which all broke $1 billion the same year. And that was a big year for movies. I don't think we had that many movies break $1 billion before or after that. That was a crazy year.
Jeez, that was what, 2012?
No, this was the Ultron was 2014, 2015. Yeah, 2015.
I mean Avengers.
Yeah,
Avengers came out in 2012.
Avengers the first was 2012. Yep.
Damn.
So Ryan, last week I prepared a very fun, very excellent summary. Are you prepared for this week's summary?
I am. I cannot
Alright, hold on. Let me get the popcorn here. Alright. I'm set.
Let me take a swig of water here, because I'm probably going to
Ryan, are you ready for story
Alright,
time?
let's hear this. Let's hear this nonsense.
Story time, kids. Avengers, Loki's excellent adventure, starts in a secret Hydra base, where he steals the MacGuffin of Captain America and forces his one-way friendship upon two minor characters from the movie Thor. That'd be Hawkeye and Eric Selvig. Having formed his Axis of Awesome, Loki brings down the house and leaves Nick furious and fuming. Throwing up the metaphorical bat signal, he intends to assemble the said title characters. Black Widow finds Bruce Banner doing his anger management treatment of staying the hell away from everyone and is convinced with tanks to come with her. Pepper has a thing for Tony, so he can science about the MacGuffin. And Nick tells Steve the world still needs old heroes like the world still needs old comedians. Never forget George Carlin.
Absolutely.
Steve is sent out to Germany with Phil, son of Cole, to fight Loki, who tries to reinstate the Third Reich. Their fight is interrupted by some timely AC/DC from Tony, when he flies in with weapons galore. As they take him into custody, the clock turns hammer time and Thor kidnaps Loki. Before he can explain how Thor was even able to get there, Tony glumps Thor and a tussle happens where they and Steve are left at a standstill while Loki watches. They toss Loki into the Hulk brig, which he suspiciously is okay with, and resumes their trip. Science bros are hacking the system while Steven's investigation reveals that that SHIELD is using Hydra tech. Feelings are hurt because of lies, and Loki uses this to get the plot rolling. Hawkeye blows the engines, Steve and Tony go to fix it while fighting dudes. Hulk breaks loose and has a rough but intimate moment with Widow until he gets a tussle with Thor. Widow makes her archer friend see the errors of joining a violence gang, and Loki tricks Thor into the Hulk brig, kills Phil, son of Cole, and pieces out for the final battle. Nick Furiosa uses manipulative motivation tactics to get the Avengers interested in avenging. Tony realizes that Loki must be in New York because reasons, and finds him in New York Tower. They have a chat before Loki throws him out the window. Loki's device opens a portal, allowing illegal aliens to flood from their wormhole worlds and take the jobs of hardworking New Yorkers. But bring nothing meaningful to their work. Thor and Bruce arrive looking for a group, and the effects of Bruce's anger management are shown in full display. Final fighting commences. While everybody is kung fu fighting, a nuke is launched as fast as lightning. It was a little bit frightening, but Iron Man sends it into a portal with expert timing. Black Widow closes the portal Selvig was forced to make, and Loki is shown to be of diminutive size as his plan to bring illegal aliens into America has been defeated by Nick Fury's right-wing agenda.
Oh my god!
After some post-credit shawarma, the Avengers go their separate ways, with Thor taking Loki home to be grounded. He also brings back the Infinity MacGuffin for later movies. Getting the news that Earth has put up its anti-immigration wall, Space El Presidente, Thanos, turns to the camera with a coy little wink because he has not given up on his people's chance for a better life. End movie.
Oh my god! I'm dying! I am dying!
I mean, that's pretty much what happens.
That's pretty much what happens,
I mean,
right?
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, god damn it. Oh, man.
This is what happens when you
Spoilers, man!
This is what happens when you give
Spoilers.
me unlimited creative freedom. I just go nuts.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Nick Fury's right wing agenda. I'm dying. I'm dying! Please!
what's really sad is that actually ends up carrying over to the themes of Winter Soldier. It's great.
It's great.
Bruh, I had ab day yesterday. You're killing me. You're actually killing me. God damn it.
All right. So now that we've discussed the plot, guys, what did you think of the movie?
God damn it. Oh. Alright,
Are you okay, Ryan?
I am. I just didn't want to interrupt anybody. So like I mentioned, I just had a blast rewatching this and kind of reliving everything. It's very cool because seeing it in theaters, everybody around and me, of course, like loved it so much that I missed some of the really well delivered yet quiet lines in the movie the first time, like when Thor is like yelling at Loki like on the mountaintop, and he says, "Now you listen well, brother," and then gets smashed by Iron Man, and then Loki's sitting there like, "I'm listening." Like, you miss that in like the big theater because everybody's laughing, and you miss the well delivered line. So getting to see that just by itself in its entirety outside of that was really, really cool for me personally.
I saw this movie twice in theaters. The first time, my buddy Mike and I went to the midnight showing, and we showed up later than we should have, and we ended up getting the front row in the far right corner, worst seats of the house.
Oh,
We still had an amazing time. It was obviously still fun, but I remember when we saw it, the first complaint I had was, does Hulk look like his one arm is bigger than the other arm? And because of the angle we were sitting at, it looked really awkward. So we went back literally the next day because our other friend wanted to go see it, but he didn't want to go to the midnight showing, so like, fuck it, we'll go again. And it obviously was just because we were in the wrong seats, but yeah, every subsequent viewing I've seen, including that second theater showing, I've picked up more and more of the jokes, and it just gets funnier every time I see it. Not necessarily that's, better every time, but it is definitely funnier every time. I just enjoy every bit of it. Whedon's writing is top-notch, full display here.
Oh my god.
Which actually brings me to a very big point I wanted to mention. So, one thing I noticed in here, that I guess I probably noticed in earlier viewings but didn't really pay attention to, is that Whedon's writing style and joke style is a really good, like, interwoven bit to the whole plot. Like, so, there's a reference mentioned very early on about how Loki's gonna crush everyone under his boot like an ant in the very first scene. That's brought up again, and the back and forth between him and Nick Fury during the scene where he gets put in the Hulk brig. And it's just kind of nice that he can call back to earlier scenes and just kind of weave the jokes around. And he does it for multiple characters for multiple lines all throughout the film. It's ridiculous, but it just shows how talented he is and how, by bringing it back around, it's like you're continuing the story, you're continuing the characterization. It fits really well.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that as well. I'm a Whedon fan, like not to the extent of some other people that I know, but I definitely enjoy Whedon's work and his writing. And when I first heard that he was doing Avengers, I was overjoyed. Now, in the years since, I've heard a lot of criticisms and critiques about how bad it was that they had Whedon be a part of the MCU, and I couldn't really tell why. So I was trying to. What
criticisms were those? I actually haven't heard. I've heard of the criticisms, but I don't know which one you're talking about in particular. I'm kind of curious.
No, well, that's the thing, is that I couldn't really call specific criticisms, but just that there were a lot of people who weren't happy with Whedon. They figured they thought he wasn't a really good fit for the Avengers and this, that, and the other. And I wanted to watch this and try and take my geek glasses off, try and not be so ridiculously excited and try to watch it a little more critically. But everything that I saw of it, I thought the writing was really well crafted. I thought it laid a lot of the basis for the kind of humor that becomes prevalent throughout Marvel movies. I felt like a lot of that really was rooted in Avengers and in Whedon's writing of the script. So I'm not really sure. Like, it's probable that all of the hatred was really towards Age of Ultron, which we can talk about in a future podcast.
I'm excited to talk about that one because I do have words for that.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah, like I will probably have words for that one as well. But in this initial one, I thought it was fantastic. Like, I thought the writing was really smart. It was well done. It was well acted upon by the actors. And Whedon will forever hold a place in my heart because he made the Hulk terrifying. Like, he made talking about Bruce Banner like a fucking horror movie. Like, please don't make this man upset. People will die. And just, it's such a great take on... It's such a great realistic take for normal people to have about this guy who, if he gets a fucking paper cut, can turn into a behemoth and smash you without thinking about it.
Nicole, what about you?
I'm looking at the editors right now to see who they were and what else they had done. And I noticed Jeffrey Ford, one of the two editors, he's also done Captain America, Iron Man 3, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, and he's going to be doing Civil War.
Oh, you mean Infinity War?
No, Captain America, Civil War.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me too much. I'd imagine they have a lot of the same hands on deck to kind of keep a consistency between the films, you know?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't surprise me, but I'm interested to kind of watch all of them and compare if his editing style has changed over the years, and with the actual storytelling of each, like if the editing style is different between Captain America to Iron Man to Avengers, or if it's pretty consistent with him.
Did she drop out, or... Oh, there she is.
What happened?
Yeah, I can only imagine that it just gets better with time. I feel like that's one of the things that Marvel's really amazing about, just with the MCU. Each movie and each step gets consistently better. And it's not that they're just good at doing the same old things. They constantly try new stuff and add to their repertoire. But overall, each Marvel movie remembers the successes of the past and banks on that while also making ground for the future. So each one, it's a different story, but the groundwork has been laid and really proven.
Yeah, they build off of each other. Because I'm looking here at Age of Ultron, and it's the same two editors. So it's the same editing team, just building off of their previous work.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to throw under the bus for Ultron, because I think for Ultron they had some scenes they had to cut out of the final picture that would have helped a few moments, but we're not going to get into that in Ultron. So, but as far as the first Avengers goes, though, I think that there isn't really anything missing. I think it hits every note that it needs to. It has every character get a good moment. The only thing I would wish I could have seen was Ant-Man and Wasp being part of the original team, but they couldn't get Ant-Man to, ready for show on time, so I understand that they couldn't do it. But everything else is still solid overall, and I can't complain too much about what we ended up getting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just... I always think of it as just an amazing mashup between... It's like a huge crossover event.
That's exactly how I would describe it. It's a huge crossover event, and I feel like for the first movie of its kind to really pull elements from so many movies into one, I think Whedon and the whole team does a great job of really highlighting individual points and beats and story arcs for the characters. So they have these big, huge action set pieces that are fantastic and amazing to watch, and they've got all this comedy laden throughout it, but each character has, some real character work that's done on it. And the one thing that really pops out is when the Hulk the Hulk, wow, is when Bruce Banner is they're in that huge argument right before Hawkeye attacks the helicarrier, and Bruce is sitting there what, you made that cell to kill me, but you can't because I've tried it already. And everybody stops arguing. All of these egos are flying around this room, and everybody stops when you see that Bruce has actively tried to kill himself because he hates how he's made, and real energy is developed towards that character beat, and that's laden throughout the whole movie. I love that shit.
Well, that also harkens back to the deleted scene from The Incredible Hulk we discussed a couple episodes ago, where he did try to kill himself. I think that this little reference here is kind of a reference to that moment. But at the same time, you can also assume that Bruce Banner has tried multiple times to do it because he doesn't want to give up on it, because he wants out of this, and it's a really well done character overall.
Honest to God, I will forever love Whedon's work in the MCU simply because of what he did with Hulk. Everything else could have fallen apart, but what he did with Bruce Banner is it's epic. I love that shit.
Yeah, another thing they did well with this movie is Loki. We discussed it in Thor that he had good chemistry with Thor, but I think in this movie, not only does he stand on his own, but he kind of has good interactions with everybody, and he ends up making Loki not necessarily likable because he's still kind of a monster, but he does come off as a very fun villain to follow, and so I think he's still one of the standouts for the MCU overall, ahead of so many other people who've tried and just cannot live up to that name. What do you guys think about the latest outing of Loki?
Nicole, you want to take this one first, because I have words.
You have words? I love
words.
Loki. I love Loki. He's almost Bane. He's almost Avengers Bane. But that belongs to Sir Tony Stark. He'll forever be in my heart.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
But if
I'm a straight man, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Tony is
but Tony Stark and Loki, they're pretty even. I will not admit to writing any kind of slash fic about that, but
Of course not.
Of course not.
You never admit.
I would never admit on
this,
the internet that I've written some quality slash fic.
What happened to just the facts, though?
Well,
I feel like this is fact.
well, no, it's not fact because I didn't use my name.
Ah, I see.
Mhm.
I see.
Otherwise, it could be labeled as slander by
Yeah.
accident. We don't want that.
No, I used the pen name.
Oh my god.
So there you go.
Oh my god. Nothing but the facts from this
Nothing
girl, of
but the
course.
facts. I speak only the facts.
So Ryan, I hear you
What
have
do you-
words.
What do you have to say about my Avengers fame?
You know, it's actually really surprising for me, and I started to notice this sentiment growing within me ever since my rewatch of Thor, and just my severe dislike for Loki.
What?
Really?
It's so weird. It's only really coming up now with the rewatch, because every time I've seen it before, I've registered him, and I can tell that he's having a lot of fun with the role, and the energy that he brings to it I really like, and I love his part in it. But with the rewatch, his character just pisses me off every time. Every time he's on screen, he's just doing something ridiculous, and it's killing me because he's so fucking extra. It's he's so extra. Everything he does is so beyond what's necessary. I mean, he's such a fucking drama queen, and just
watch your mouth.
even in Thor, I'm keeping it real. I'm giving you the facts.
No,
Just the
that's
facts
my title. All
of how
right,
I'm feeling.
we gonna throw some hands.
You can respect my facts, all right? My facts on how I feel about it is the fact that everything he's presented, or every bit of factual things that he's told, he twists and takes it so far out of proportion that it fits his own twisted mind. So it's just like, I'm specifically thinking about like when he's talking to Odin and like he's really emotional. He's just figuring out that he's fucking a frost giant, and he's like, "Tell me what's going on." And Odin's giving him like this real explanation, and I felt like it was a real like kingly explanation about how he had just fought this huge war with the frost giants and killed a lot of them, and noticed a child, a baby there. And part of him said, I don't want to kill a helpless, defenseless child. True, part of him was also thinking politically and hoping that one day this kid could actually be the bridge of peace between their two worlds. But all Loki heard was, "Oh, so that's why you never actually liked me, and oh, that's why I could never be a real part of the family, because
So
you
Ryan,
could never have a frost giant as king." And I'm like, shut the fuck up and listen to what he's saying to you.
So Ryan, I get what you're saying. However, I want to have a counterpoint here. So I have taken many history courses, and we've discussed ancient religions, Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, and a little bit of Norse mythology. I can never say that word right. Well, I always say North instead of Norse. It's always weird. But anyway, one thing that you always notice in these polytheistic religions is that none of these gods are all virtuous and all good like you see in, say, the Christian religion. A lot of them actually are very human and just have, like, very exaggerated human traits. So to see Loki kind of be this exaggerated, overly angry person who wants to manipulate everything, it kind of fits the mythology a little bit. Again, a little bit over the top, sure, but that's kind of how it was always portrayed back in the day.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Over the top, though. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean...
And honestly, is he handing up any worse than Mr. Freeze and Batman and Robin?
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, but no, this is supposed to be better than that. Look. Let me clarify. I have nothing against Tom Hiddleston. I love the way he portrays the character. I love his acting. I think that the character of Loki gets developed really well throughout the MCU. And when we talk about his portrayal in Thor Ragnarok, I'm gonna have a great time talking about it because I actually really like Loki in that, and his character is more believable for me after that, because it's less just like fucking ridiculousness and more it's a more relatable mischievism that I feel from him, as opposed to just, "Oh, well, I'm going to maniacally take over the world because my parents never loved me." And yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty good reason to take over the world.
Yeah, I mean, Pinky and the Brain have worse reasons every week.
It just
Fuck Ryan.
just.
I'm sorry if your parents loved you,
It took me by surprise. It took me by surprise, honestly. From his first appearance in Avengers, when he shows up from the portal and he gives that ridiculous fucking smile, and I'm like, what? It's so over the top for me, and it surprised me. But I'm hating it right now. I'm just hating it.
Well, while we're on the subject of hating things, let's go over some criticisms of the movie. Particularly the things that stood out to us as things we didn't care for. I want to get the ball rolling real quick with two items I have here. One of which is a little small, and one of which is a bit bigger. The small item is when they have the jets taking off to launch the nukes, and Fury has to go stop them. His first reaction is to shoot a bazooka at a jet with an armed nuke on it.
That's a thing. So that is a thing.
I get you had to stop it, but that would have blown up your helicarrier had you fucked that up any worse.
I mean, wouldn't that be your first reaction?
No!
Okay, so how would you have stopped the plane taking off then, Aaron?
I feel like Fury shouldn't have had to do that. I feel like that was gonna if you're gonna have the plane do it anyway, just have Fury run out there to try to stop him, like, just get to the plane and stop the guy from actually hitting ignition. have him get there and realize it's too late, and then he contacts Iron Man with the information.
I mean,
the bazooka just feels like an added explosion that doesn't resolve the problem and actively risks making the problem worse.
But what's Fury gonna fucking do? Like, run out waving his hands? No, stop, please, don't. I actually like that bit. Actually, like what that speaks to about Fury's character and how far he's willing to go to do what he feels is the necessary course of action.
Yeah.
Like, I actually like that about Fury's character.
That's fair. That's fair. It's just a small little nitpick I had.
Can I just say the imagery that I got when Ryan was saying, "Oh wait, stop"? I pictured a chippy Nick Fury with a piece of toast in his mouth, running late for school.
Oh my god!
Nicole, we need you on the show more often. It's too fun.
You know what? Can one of our listeners do some fan art of that? Just a chibi Nick Fury with a piece of toast in his mouth running for a bus.
And while you're at it, can I have some yaoi of Loki and Tony Stark?
I'm good. Actually,
no,
that's what we're gonna.
I feel like you're gonna get. I feel like you're more likely to get yaoi of Stark and Steve, but we'll see.
I mean, I'll just
more like yaoi of Bruce of Steve and Bruce.
You know what? For this movie, you're probably right.
Science bros.
Look. I'll take whatever
bros.
yaoi I can get. I would just prefer Stark and Loki. That's all.
We know, Nicole.
So my second point I want to make real quick is the entirety of Hawkeye. Now I get it. He was brainwashed for about half the movie, and they didn't give a lot of stuff to do with that last half. He just was kind of there to help out, and he got a few good one-liners, but nothing truly Hawkeye like I remember from the comics or the cartoons or anything. And he really comes into his own in Ultron. But I'm still going to point out here that I'm a little disappointed how Hawkeye was portrayed here. I mean, he didn't get a lot to do in Thor, which makes sense. It's not his movie. And he doesn't get a whole lot here either, so it's a little disappointing. I like I said, I get it, but it's disappointing.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like Hawkeye was there to be a counterpoint to Natasha and really show like the levels of humanity that can actually kind of keep up with the rate that the world is advancing. Because I mean, we have Steve, who should technically represent America, like humanity, but he's been so advanced by the super soldier serum. He's the pinnacle of humanity, and not like a normal human. So I really liked seeing Natasha and Clint there in the thick of it, hanging with the rest of the fucking Avengers. I'm glad we got to see more character work for Hawkeye and Ultron, but I'm glad he was at least there in Avengers.
I agree. But like I said, I just one more, but what we got was still fine. I'm looking forward to seeing him again in Ultron because he really, like I said, comes to his own in Ultron, which should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into any of the other segments we have, I want to wrap it up one last time with your favorite moments, like favorite lines, favorite character moment. Just what are the couple things that stuck out to you most? Is just love it, can't live without it. Honestly, I still get chills every time I see the scene where Iron Man, Thor, and Captain are having a little tussle in the woods. Just the one moment where the Thor brings down the hammer, just chills every time. It's so good.
I would say if I had to pick one moment, and I'm gonna pick the action sequence, but it'll be when Bruce actually shows up in New York, like kind of mid combat, and he's normal, and everybody's like, Doctor, now might be a great time to get angry, like as they see the big ass fucking armored sky dragon showing up. And he's like, that's my secret, which they've been playing with the whole movie. And he looks back and says, I'm always angry. Instantly transforms, just like the mastery of his control was fantastic. And then with one fucking punch, stops the dragon. And I'm like, that is how you do super strength. Like, in a team full of guys who are abnormally strong, you have one dude that can punch out a dragon. Yes, that is exactly what I wanted.
And it's a good example of the writing I mentioned earlier that he weaves throughout the story, because, like you said, they mention it multiple times throughout the movie. He has some kind of secret. What's your secret? Pilates, yada, yada, yada. And we find the payoff right here, and it's really good how they had that kind of little interwoven bit of like, dialogue going.
I love it. I fucking love it. Oh my god.
Nicole, how about you?
I just want a bunch of videotapes of Bruce Banner doing Pilates and teaching it. Can I have Bruce Banner teach me anger management?
I think we all need that.
Yeah.
He's just gonna tell you to be really angry and like make snarky comments on repeat because that's how he stays calm.
Do I get the super strength then?
No, unfortunately not. You have to go through, the whole gamma radiation process, which will kill you like 999 times out of 1,000.
Never
But
the odds.
Now, before we move on, actually, Nicole, you stated a theory or some theories you wanted to discuss with us.
I do have a fan theory that when I was talking with Aaron and he gave me his little sneak peek of the synopsis, it just came to mind, and I'm like, whoa, I have to expand on this. So, my theory is pretty much that the character of Loki is just a teenage angsty Butters.
Hold on. There's more to this. There's more to this.
That, like, this is the real story of Butters. He's just put his allowance away over the years, and he's finally gotten his amazing costume instead of just whatever clothes he has in tinfoil. This is the Professor Chaos that he is dreamed of. But
headcanon accepted.
However, Butters Loki is always living in the shadow of Thor. So, for this kind of headcanon, I'm picturing Butters has a brother, the star football player, the one that everybody loves. He's got his crew. And there's just Butters, who's just the nerd, he's a comic guy, he likes to cosplay, and his group just always picks on him. His dad doesn't understand, always getting grounded.
Loki, did you try to take over the Earth again? You're grounded, mister.
Nobody respects him. Which is why I love Loki, and this kind of ties into why I love Tony Stark, because he's the closet nerd. He's the nerd who, like, he connects with Loki, he gets it, but he also knows when to hide it so that way he can hang out with all the cool kids of Thor, Captain America, Hawkeye, and all them.
So you're saying the rock music might actually be like a fake front for him, like a false face for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the prejudice against nerd culture that Marvel is trying to shove down our throats.
Oh my
disguising
God.
it as nerd culture.
She's not far off. I mean, for years there's been a stigma against nerd culture, like up until these movies became popular, and now they're the mainstream thing.
That's okay. Okay, that I can get. That's fair. That's a fair.
Yeah. And then my theory going into Avengers 2, it's just Butters Loki finally finds a friend in Thanos who loves to cosplay too. And it's just a bunch of jocks of Thor and Captain America trying to play keep away from the nerds.
Damn jocks, ruining everything.
Mm-hmm.
Guys.
What?
That's entirely incorrect, but alright.
No, this is correct. This is entirely correct. Thanos just wants to cosplay in his awesome costume that he made, and his power glove. But the jocks, they just want to take it away.
Well, and we're forgetting, too, that all the jocks are right-wing Republicans who don't want the illegal aliens in their city of New York.
Oh, here we go.
and we have these people of the people, Loki and Thanos, who just want to help the little guy, who just want to help the underclass get their place in life, to get a better place in life by bringing them to Earth, where there's opportunities abound.
You know, we're proud that other people want to be Earthlings, but we just want them to do it the legal way. Because we all pay taxes here. Why aren't they paying taxes?
I believe the correct term is Earthican.
Yes, I got it right here. That is the technical term, sir.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, Loki has a solid platform, and I think he should run for president. Loki 2020.
Well, who should his running mate be?
I think it's time for Tony Stark to step out of the shadow of, the jock and hang out with his friends. It's time to show his loyalty.
A platform of pro-immigration and de-weaponization. Yep. I like it. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly beat that. Especially if the only competition is Trump.
Yep. Yeah. Look.
Yeah, you know what? In that case, I take Loki over Trump.
Loki stands for the little guy, not like some Captain America who works for the man.
Hey, careful now. Talking about Cap.
He's a puppet for the man.
That is my personal captain.
He's a puppet.
That is my personal captain.
And?
All right. I will throw hands for my captain.
All I can say to that is I voted for Kodos. Don't blame me.
Look,
all right, guys.
You split the vote. Look,
all I'm trying to say is Captain America works for Trump, trying to push his right-wing agenda, working for the man. He's just the symbol that Trump uses. He's the puppet to try and get people on his side. That's all I'm saying.
Technically, that'd be War Machine, but we'll get into that later. I love the theory. It's really fun.
Ryan, your thoughts?
Why don't we break into...
Ryan?
Your
that? Thoughts on my theory?
I agree with parts of it. I disagree with the rest of it.
Because you're brainwashed by Captain America.
You lost me when you came against my captain.
Because you're brainwashed, Ryan. I'm trying to make you see the light.
Wake up, sheeple. Wake up.
Wake up, sheeple.
God damn it.
Alright, so before we get too deep in this insane rabbit hole, let's do some review roundup. So review roundup is where we go around and look at the reviews that came out at the time of the movie's launch. Let's start with our old buddy Roger Ebert, rest in peace. To quote, "The Avengers is done well by Joss Whedon with style and energy. It provides its fans with exactly what they desire. 3 out of 4. What are some of the other names we usually get on this list? Is it lower down? Let's be lower down. This is a huge list here. Dave Edelstein, which I think I've read before as well. Another positive review. Comic-Con nerds will have multiple orgasms. I had a blast.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
Brian, can you confirm
graphic, but he's not wrong.
Here's another one. This is a negative review from Amy Nicholson of the Box Office Magazine. To quote, "Apparently, bootleg copies of Transformers 3 made it to Asgard."
Whoa!
That's salty right there. That's some
fighting salt. Words. Hold up. What?
Let's get a more detailed negative review going, so we can actually see what the complaints are. From Rick Groan from the Globe and Mail. I wish. To watch another comic book movie transformed into another blockbuster is to quote unquote marvel at much and to feel nothing. That's a safer bet than the That's a safer bet than the converse, perhaps, which may explain the genre's popularity. Basically, he's boiling it down to comic book movies aren't fun anymore.
Kiss my ass. I mean,
I know. One more positive review to leave out on. from Kenneth Turin, which I think I've read before as well. Whedon is the key reason why this $220 million behemoth of a movie is smartly thought out and executed with verse and precision. It may be overly long at 2 hours and 23 minutes, but so much is going on you might not even notice. And to be honest, I didn't.
Now, see, that's good. That's apt. That's very apt.
And also, to go over the review scores, Ryan will be very pleased to know that with the critics, 92 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, and 91 out of 100 with the audience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's probably just a little higher than Iron Man, if not about the same. It's pretty close, though. Alright, guys. So that is our review roundup. It's time for our next segment, which is the Listener Question of the Week. This is where we ask a question out to our audience, then we read the answers aloud here on the podcast. We haven't got any answers yet for this week's episode, but I will make a note right now to cut them in. We'll put our responses in right now, though. So, guys, last week's question was for Captain America, which was, what kind of movies would you want to see the Howling Commandos come back in? And for those who don't remember, Howling Commandos are the team that Captain America ran with back in World War II days. So, Ryan, Nicole, do either of you have a suggestion for Howling Commando ideas, or would you rather not see them?
You know what? I actually, I remembered this really, really cool thing, because if you'll recall, the principal in Spider-Man Homecoming actually has a black and white picture of his, great-grandfather or something, who the actor actually played as the Howling Commando in Captain America. So I would love to hear a Howling Commando story told to Peter Parker by his principal.
That'd be kind of a cool idea. That way you wouldn't have to necessarily jump back in time. It's just telling a story. I like it. I like it. Nicole, how about you?
Let's see. My first thought was the buddy cop film. And let's see, there was also the rom-com that I thought of. And then,
The Howling Commando rom-com?
yeah, come on. Yeah, Aaron, start writing that. We're going to pitch that.
We're gonna pitch that. Yep, it'll make millions.
Oh
Plus,
my
there's also...
Tie-in video game where you tie-in video game dating sim.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. We're making a dating sim with the Howling Commandos. We're doing it.
Oh yes,
Okay.
I would if that was made, I would straight up play a Howling Commando dating
I
sim.
do it.
I mean, who wouldn't? For me, I would say that I'll go with what I was mentioning last week, or hinted at last week. So, Wolverine did exist around the same time as the Howling Commandos, and in certain canon, he's actually interacted and worked with the Howling Commandos. So I would love to see a story from his perspective. Maybe even have Cap in there alone, maybe two of them team up or something. That'd be kind of a fun little adventure. It would be prior to the Wolverine adamantium claws, but it would still be a story worth seeing. So,
Yeah.
if not that, I would definitely have to. If not that, I would love to see the Howling Commandos, perhaps after the war, not necessarily modern day, but just what they do during the Cold War era. Who knows?
Oh yeah, all right.
So again, if you have any ideas for our next question, so the question we have for the next week, guys, is this is very timely due to the rumors of a Black Widow movie. What supporting characters do you want to see get bigger roles in future films?
Fucking Black Widow.
Well,
I can answer that now.
Since that's already kind of been sort of confirmed, we don't know for sure yet. We'll hold it off until next week.
We can hope.
Yeah,
God damn it.
But if you want to submit your answers for who you think should get a movie, what supporting character should get a bigger role in a future film, please let us know in the comments below. You can go to evacstation@gmail.com. There's also Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. And we'll read your answers aloud here on the podcast. Next up is our favorite section, Ryan. It's the Trivia War.
Yeah.
So each week, Ryan and I answer questions to determine who has the most knowledge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Marvel in general, I guess. And we're battling for Shawarma. The winner is bought Shawarma by the loser. Because Max has been MIA since the first episode, we're going to count him out of the running because it's a little unfair to make him buy when he was barely competing. But Rest assured, there'll be penalties in round 2, which we're going to call Phase 2. We're not stealing the name, but I promise.
We spell it different.
We spell it differently. There's going to be an F in there.
The F is silent.
So Ryan and I will ask each other's questions first, and then Nicole, you say you have questions first as well, right?
Oh, God.
So we will do. So Ryan, no matter who wins between you and I, Nicole will provide questions for a bonus round. You may pull out ahead in the end.
So do I get shawarma?
Yes, Nicole, since you have participated, I will be very kind and provide you with shawarma. But if you want to win something next time, you'll have to compete through the whole season.
Alright.
The invitation is open. I'm happy to have you on board. Alright, so Ryan, are you ready for your first question?
These questions are on Iron Man 3, correct?
That is correct.
Alright, let's do this.
Alright, your first question. I think you'll get this one. What protocol summons every Iron Man suit to battle?
Oh, shit.
Not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna get this one.
Damn it. Do you know how long it's been since I've seen Iron Man 3?
I know, but
Do you know how long it's been?
This is like one of the best lines in the whole film. I could have sworn you of all people would remember it.
Fuck me. Fuck, I don't know.
I'll give you a hint if it helps you out, because this is an easy question. It is 2 words. It's the blank blank protocol.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank blank. You gotta tell me the answer.
Nicole, you won't get any points because you're just here to help us out, but do you want to try to answer it?
I thought I'm getting points.
Oh, okay.
For the points.
Well, you can do it to make me look bad.
Oh yeah, you could make Ryan look bad. That's always a bonus.
I guess so, but I don't really have to try to like Ryan back.
Damn.
Ooh, salt.
God. I'm gonna feel real dumb when I hear this answer, aren't I?
The answer, Ryan. Nicole, do you want to go ahead and say it? The House Party Protocol.
Oh, that's right. It is the House Party Protocol.
I feel really bad. That was my easy question.
No, it's. No lie. I was nowhere near that. I was nowhere near it.
All right. Ryan, what's my easy question?
All right. So for your easy question, mild spoiler alert for the next podcast. But during the course of the movie, Happy Hogan does get Tony and Pepper's assistant. Gets put into the hospital, but it's cool because he can binge watch his favorite TV show. What is Happy Hogan's favorite TV show?
So I feel bad because the first I'm thinking of is the Incredible Hulk, like the old cartoon, like the old live action show. But I don't think it's the case because I think that was from Fast and Furious 6. I don't know if I'm confusing them or if they're the same thing.
Go with your gut.
Is that your final answer, sir?
I can't think of anything else it would be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the original Hulk live action show.
That is incorrect.
I knew it was Fast and Furious 6, so what is it?
Nicole, do you want to take a stab at it before I let him know?
I'm having enough fun laughing at you guys.
All right. Then the actual answer, and it's hilarious, is Downton Abbey.
I never would have gotten that. Alright, I love how our easy questions did not go very well for us.
Yeah!
Let's try the medium question here.
It's going great.
Medium question. I think Ryan will get this one a lot easier. I think I probably should have made this the easy one. Ryan, what does AIM stand for?
Oh, Advanced Idea Mechanics, I'm pretty sure?
That is correct, sir.
Yes, excellent.
I should have made that the easy question. I feel dumb now.
That probably
Okay.
should have been the easy question. Although, to be fair, my medium question also probably should have been the easy question for you specifically.
We're really bad at this, I know.
We're super
Ryan,
bad at
what's my
trivia.
so-called medium question?
All right. Iron Man 3 is the only film in Iron Man's solo franchise not to feature music from which band?
Well, I know the original Iron Man had the Iron Man song in Black Sabbath. And I'm familiar with AC/DC being a big part of Iron Man. Was that AC/DC part of Iron Man 2? I think it was. But since it's Iron Man, I'm going to say it's Black Sabbath.
Is that your final answer, sir?
I think so.
That is also incorrect.
It was AC/DC, wasn't it?
It was.
Ah!
And I got you with the same band that you got me with last week. Ha! Vengeance!
So I'm not going to lie, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of emails on this one. I am not an AC/DC fan. They have a couple songs I like, but I don't like the band in general. They're not Queen. They're not Led Zeppelin. They're not that good.
Oh my god, so that's going to be the source of all of our hate mail for this podcast.
Yeah,
Probably.
You don't like AC/DC? The fuck?
Bring it on, haters. I don't care. Alright, Ryan. I don't think you're going to get this hard one. I'm pretty sure you will not get this hard one.
Oh,
Are you ready?
God. Here we go.
Where does Tony's suit take him after his house explodes?
Oh, shit.
I need the city and the state.
Oh, woof. Oh, fuck.
But I can give you partial credit if you get at least one of them.
Alright, so the house blows up. Jesus. God damn it. I don't want to say it's Denver because there's like no snow anywhere. Fuck. God damn it. I'm gonna guess that.
You only have 50. You only have 50 states. I mean, you have a 1 in 50 shot of getting this.
Yeah, it's a 2% chance.
Well, let's narrow it down. You know it's not New York. You know it's not California. You just said it wasn't Denver. It probably isn't Alaska or Hawaii. I'll guarantee you it's not the freak states.
The freak! Oh my god. To our listeners in Alaska and Hawaii, I apologize from a boy here.
If they get that Simpsons reference, they won't be mad.
You know what? I'm gonna take a stab at the state purely out of my ass and say Wyoming.
That, sir, is incorrect.
Damn.
I assume you now want to try for the city.
The 2% chance let me down. No, I don't. I don't fucking know.
The answer is Rose Hill, Tennessee.
Tennessee? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, Ryan, you're the only 10 I see.
Aww. But you can't see me. Okay, anyway.
John Cena?
I was just thinking that.
Oh my god, I'm leaving. No, I'm done. I can't.
Wait, Ryan, you can't leave. I have a question I need to get
You don't
answered.
get a hard answer. No, you don't get a hard question. No, Nicole killed it. Oh my god. Alright.
I gotta get this one, otherwise I tie for you, and then it's all up to Nicole's questions. I'm scared what that's gonna be.
So, the hard question. What number of suit is Tony's latest creation in Iron Man 3?
And we're talking about the one that falls apart and has multiple parts that fly to him and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay. I know, if I remember right, it's either in the 40s or the 50s at this point.
I can neither confirm nor deny until you give me the final.
I'm just kind of rationalizing it in my head. The numbers that stick out to me, Nicole, are 42 and 52. Now, I don't want you to look. I just want you to give me your opinion. 42 or 52? What do you think?
42.
You're going 42? I'm going to go 42 as well.
That is correct.
Yeah.
It is suit number 42. Nicole gets partial credit for the assist.
I thank Nicole
No,
for that
use
one.
a lifeline. It's okay.
A lifeline! God damn.
Well, I for some reason knew it ended with a 2. I just couldn't remember what the first digit was. It was freaking me out. I'm like, shit, I don't know if it's 50 or 40.
Alright. I gotta
So-
catch up again.
So,
with these bonus questions.
actually, Ryan, so phase 1 is done. Currently, I am beating Ryan by a... Hang on, let me do the counting real quick. I need to actually add up. Hang on, let me look at the numbers.
Wow.
Bruh, I thought
Alright,
you had
so-
a running tally.
I do. I have to scroll up to it. So I'm at 19, and Ryan is at 16.
Yep.
So, Nicole, it is up to you. So this is the final episode of this first challenge. Can you bring Ryan's score up with your random trivia you have for us
Let's
tonight?
see then.
Alright, so Nicole is here to add in some chaos, if you would. So, Nicole, I asked you to grab some questions. So how many did you have getting?
I have 2 sets of 3 questions. That
Oh boy.
Excellent. So do you want to do Ryan first, or do you want to do me
We'll
first?
do this question. Do you want me to do all of them?
I'm game for either one. Ryan, how about you?
I could stand for a bonus round for us.
I'm gonna give you first. Ryan, high or low on a D6?
Go high.
Okay. What does Pepper Potts not wear when she's in Stark Tower?
Is this in reference to a particular movie?
It's whenever she is in Stark Tower.
Fair enough.
What does she not wear? Okay. Let's take a look. See. Stark Tower. Initially came up in the Avengers, and when I saw her in Stark Tower, in this movie, I don't think she was wearing shoes. She was wearing jean shorts and like a blouse, but I don't think she was wearing shoes. I can't think of and it's been so long since I've seen Iron Man 3, but I'm not sure if she's actually in the tower or not. I'm gonna go with shoes. I'm gonna guess shoes.
Final answer?
That is my final answer.
You are correct.
Yes!
Does not wear shoes
All
because
right.
she is 5'9", taller than Robert Downey Jr.
Oh right, and they needed to make him a little
So
taller
she
than
has
her,
to
at
be
least
barefoot
like
while he
average height.
wears snorkelets in his shoes.
Damn, you're right. Yes,
That's
all
a good bit of
right.
trivia. I like that.
Good.
I like
That's very good. That's very good. Oh, you know what? We probably should have addressed this. But how much are each of these questions worth?
Just a heads up for you. I do. I typically do easy as 1, medium as 2, and hard as 3. So I'll let you say.
Alright.
If you,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say if you haven't really delineated the questions between easy, medium, and hard, then we could just split the difference and make all the questions worth 2 points.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so Ryan, you're up to 18 now.
All right.
Shawarma gets its name from the Turkish word for what?
Oh boy, that's
Fuck.
that, sir, is rough.
I'm gonna go on out on a limb here because I know that the shawarma I've seen is all lamb based. So I'm gonna go lamb. I'm gonna go sheep. Yeah, I'm a lamb and or sheep. The same difference.
It is incorrect. It comes from the
I kind of figured.
Turkish word for turning.
Turning. I never
Oh,
would've
because
gotten
it's
that.
on a spit.
It's cooked on
Okay.
spit.
Oh, that makes sense.
A spit.
Look, whatever.
Okay. Next question.
Alright, question for Ryan. Alright, Aaron, this is a 2-part question, so do you want to do each part as 1 point?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do each part as 1 point. I
Alright.
think that's fair.
Alright.
Alright, Ryan. In the end credits scene, what is the name of the shawarma place that is 2 blocks away?
God
Damn.
damn. Holy shit. Wait, what's the second part to this question?
Do you want to know the second part?
Yeah, well, I mean, does the second part give away an answer to the first
Nope.
part? Okay, then yeah, let me get the second part too.
What is the health code grade that this establishment gets?
Oh my god! What is this?
I thought my question was rough.
God damn.
I go for the throat, dog.
What's killing me is I literally just watched this fucking movie. I think it was something generic. I think it was something like Shawarma Palace or something silly like that. Actually, you know what? It would be more Whedon-esque to have like, because I remember like the shawarma place was like in shambles after the damn after the battle.
Yeah.
So it would be hilarious to be in a restaurant that had like an A ranking, but it was tore up from the battle, so it doesn't look like it should be an A. So I'm gonna guess an A for the rating, and fuck, I'm gonna just go with Shawarma Palace. Oh my god, sure, fucking why not?
Are those your final answers?
Those are my final answers for all the fucking good it does.
You are correct.
Ooh, on which one?
Both.
You're kidding!
Nope.
Holy shit.
You are fucking. It was actually named Shawarma
It's called the
Palace.
Shawarma Palace, and on the wall right behind Captain America, it has an A grade.
The A I expected. I did not expect Shore Palace.
Yeah.
Wow.
Victory!
Wow.
Oh my god! Yes!
So Ryan, you are now ahead by 1 point. Let's see if I can catch up with you.
Oh my god, Shawarma Palace, get the fuck out of here.
I can't believe you got it. Aaron, all the marbles.
Mm-hmm.
What building is standing where Stark Tower stands in New York City? Yeah.
Like in real life? Interesting.
Ooh.
Interesting. It's in New York, so I had to think about that for a minute. I almost said the Trans America Tower, but that's in LA, I think. So I would have been off. But similar in terms of like weird building design. So, and it's not the Twin Towers because those aren't standing anymore. It's not Empire State. 'Cause I'm pretty sure they mention that net here and there. I'm gonna go. Crap, I can't think of any New York buildings. I'm stupid.
I don't know that.
Architecture is not my thing either, dude, so I would be just straight up stumped. I would just be dumb.
Well, okay. So, while the World Trade Centers, the Twin Towers, are no longer standing, there are other buildings within the World Trade Center building sets. Like, there's other smaller buildings of the World Trade Center. So I'm going to guess it's one of those buildings. As to the specific names of them, I don't know any of them. So I'm just going to go with World Trade Center, B through whatever the end of them are.
That is an answer.
That's an answer, alright. It is the MetLife.
I never would have gotten that.
Now I gotta check the location of it. See just where it is in comparison to. You are way off, sir.
I figured.
That's going to be an interesting rights deal that they had to strike with the MetLife building. Like, we want to use all of New York as a settings backdrop except for this one tower. I mean, do they have to? Did they have to get in touch with MetLife for like permission to edit the tower out of the movie? Or
Well, they use the bottom
Well, I
half
mean-
of the building. They digitally edit the top.
that makes more sense. That makes more
Yeah,
sense.
so they don't edit the building out. They still use it, but it's something else.
Interesting.
Well, that brings an end to Phase 1 of the Trivia War.
Yes!
Ryan, you are actually the winner.
Wow.
Well, look, Bleak, only a few minutes ago, has suddenly become so much better for you, sir. I owe you 1 shawarma.
Yes! I haven't had shawarma in so long.
I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get it to him now.
Mail it.
That is worth breaking my diet for. The shawarma will be worth breaking my diet for.
I mean, I could always like just get a place in the area and have them deliver it.
That's true.
That's awesome.
All right. So that's our trivia war. Ryan wins. We will give you updates on that. If you have questions you want to submit to us, like Nicole did tonight, to try to stump us, you obviously can see it's not that hard. Please send those questions to evacstation@gmail.com or go on to Facebook, Twitter, or Tumblr and submit them, and we will try to stump Ryan or myself with them. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Before we leave, guys, it's our final and most important segment, and we'll try to keep this very brief. It is time for the list, the Marvel movie ranking to determine what the best Marvel movies are. Currently, our list has Iron Man as the top, and Hulk, as I remember last time, I called it the power bottom.
Power bottom. God damn it.
It's a good place for it.
So, it's a good place. So, guys, where would you rank the Avengers? Last week we put Captain America's number 2. Now we're on the Avengers. I have no idea where to put this. I have a couple ideas, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
Nicole, since we haven't heard from since this is the first appearance, your first guest appearance here. Why don't you give us your ranking? Where would you put it in the ranking first?
Should I give Nicole the full list so she knows what the options are?
Yes,
please.
Yep. All right, from the bottom up, I have Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man as number 1.
Really?
Captain America. So, how would you defend that position?
I generally enjoy Avengers more than Captain America.
That's fair. Ryan, your thoughts?
Honestly, I would put Avengers at number 1. Like,
really?
I feel like Avengers is the perfect payoff for everything that they've been building, like with the first 5, like with Phase 1. I felt like it culminated in a really, like, well-written and well-designed cast film. Nobody got with the exception of Hawkeye, who also like didn't really have like an integral role in any of the movies as of yet. No one really got outshone, and everybody had like really equal like character development. Everybody got to look really fucking cool. Like the humor was on point. Like everything that was built upon and started by Iron Man, I felt was done better in Avengers. So I would put it number 1.
So this is where I'm a little bit torn here, because I like Avengers a lot. And I've been debating about this since I finished watching it this morning, I think? I've been debating about this back and forth for a while, because while I really like it, it's also, to me, more of a film that celebrates the Avengers, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, it celebrates the fact that, hey, we've made 6 successful movies, and here's the one that shows off everyone finally being together, which we've been, trumpeting about and saying it's going to happen for a while. On the other hand, though, Iron Man's a solid standalone movie, and I actually think Captain America is a solid standalone movie. And I think both of them, really tell their stories in a way that's self-contained, well-refined, and sets up stuff for future movies without being focused on just setting up stuff. And originally, I had debated whether it was going to be above or below Captain America, leaning towards below. But, hearing you guys a little bit, I'm trying to think of where I'd place it other than that.
So, my counterpoint would be that to put Avengers above, like at number 1, wouldn't say anything derogatory about Iron Man or Captain America, because they're both they're both fantastic standalone films. They both do their own thing really, really well. But I feel like, especially like ever since the stinger at the end of Iron Man, when Nick just drops the "I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers initiative," like from that moment, like everything has like the hype for Avengers has been growing, and like with each subsequent movie, like, I feel like the bar was raised for Avengers to the point where, like, if it was anything less than what it was, it wouldn't have felt rewarding enough. I feel like the hype was built over the course of 6 movies, and for Avengers to actually pay off and deliver what it promised puts it at number 1 for me.
Yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, the more you keep saying, I think I might have to concede the number 1 spot. Only because while I like Iron Man and Captain America, and I think I like them personally more, fact of the matter is, Avengers brings more Loki, which I love. It brings, it also brings great character interactions between all the characters, Loki, Cap, Thor, Iron Man, everybody. And it does so in such an evenly paced way that that you feel like you're getting the best of everybody while being ready for the next phase where you're going to get a little bit more of everybody. So I would say that I will concede with Ryan on number 1. Nicole, what about you? I can't tell if I can take your sense as a yes or a no.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think I'll concede, but have them tied.
Can we tie them?
I mean, I can.
I think it's.
I don't know about you guys.
Well, and like I said, in my personal rankings, I'd still have Iron Man and Cap over it, but I can see that Avengers is really well put together with all the right parts jiving together well. I don't think it will remain number 1 forever. We have a couple movies coming up in the Phase 2 that will definitely give it a run for its money.
Oh yeah, no, it's not going to remain number 1 forever. But I feel like of the first 6 movies, yeah, I personally enjoy watching Avengers a little more than I enjoyed watching Iron Man.
Alright, so for the time being, Avengers is our number 1 movie of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you'll see the nice fancy graphic I have here. For those who are still just tuning in, you'll notice that I have a little special colors for every one of the numbers. The top 6, each of them going to be their own Infinity Stone color. Because I thought that was kind of fun.
That's really good.
Yeah. So with that is our podcast this week. Next week we'll be returning with Phase 2, new trivia, new prize to go for, and of course Iron Man 3. I've been waiting to talk about this one for a while because this one doesn't sit well with a lot of people, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we think about that.
It'll be really good to revisit it.
I know my preliminary thoughts going in, but I cannot wait to see if they change or not.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Nicole, can we expect you to join us again soon?
Maybe. Given the Gillette ninjas don't try to take me out again.
We will definitely hope that those ninjas don't come back, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. If not next week, definitely, hopefully, by Avengers 2, because I think we're going to have fun with that, too. So thanks, everyone, for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, or Tumblr. Remember, we are ad-free because, 1, we don't make enough views on YouTube anyway, and 2, because we want to give you free content. So support us on Patreon. I don't think we say that enough here. Check out our Patreon page to support us, to talk about more movies beyond Avengers, and so forth. And of course, we will see you next time for Iron Man 3 after the credits.
Bye.